This is on now.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Spearhead transmission. It's October 24th, 3rd, 2017.
24th, 3rd.
It's time to break those chains and water that tree. So it's early show this week. We got stuff going on into this week. Trying to get one kicked out so we didn't miss it. Pass another
Yes.
podcast.
Yeah.
Leave all the listeners just dying for a new episode.
And texting us and telling us that we're terrible.
Wow, I'll do one later.
Mm-hmm. It's like homework now.
So, I'm all of a sudden addicted to soul tar.
Or solitaire.
I prefer to call it soul tar. Like Oog Taha. Yeah, dude, soul tar. So when I was a kid,
Uh-huh.
you know, my friend Jordan got a computer.
Uh-huh.
I think
How
he-
old? How old were you when you got a computer?
I don't remember, like 13, maybe more. I don't know.
I was
I
listening.
wasn't driving. I can't differentiate between like,
Your
the
age
Sega
groups?
Genesis. No, because I remember we got Wolfenstein like in the full first games.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, maybe it was before that. Maybe it was at my grandpa's or whatever. But someone had a computer and it had game. It says games. You're like, oh yeah, computer games.
Uh-huh.
And you click on it, and it's got Minesweeper, and then there'd be Soul Tar. Minesweeper still to this day boggles my mind. I have no idea how that worked. Right? Not a clue.
Yeah, no, you,
You like just hit buttons. It's got numbers on it, and you die.
and not try to hit a mine.
Yeah. Well, I take it back. My grandpa had 3 games. Or 4 if you consider like Flight Simulator a game. I guess it was a game to me, but and then Soul Tar. Well, I didn't have a clue how to play Soul Tar. So one day I was over at Jordan's and he was playing, or his mom was playing, or something.
Probably his mom.
And I was like, let me see that. And I tried it. I just thought that's easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then they tried to explain to me how to play it. I was like, this is fucking horrible. This is like homework, right?
Yeah.
Why would anyone want to play this? So I think I just recently figured out how to play it from this Facebook Messenger game. I can't stop playing it now.
Now you're addicted. You're just,
Ooh,
you know what it is.
5 red. Ooh, 4 black.
It's
Oh, yeah.
because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
getting old, dude. That game was for old people. All old people played solitaire. Only old people played solitaire with the cards. Have you ever tried to play with cards?
Someone tried to teach me when I was young. I remember seeing people with all that shit sit out in front of them. No interest, man.
What? Here's the deal: is like that's a game that you can play with cards. Why do you need to play it on the computer?
You play it on cards when you're on the Oregon Trail or something. When you're
Dude,
on your wagon.
That game right there was the most pointless game, Oregon Trail. But
All the thing was fun was the
Hunting.
part. Yeah.
that was the only thing that was fun, and you shot. Think about this for a minute. How much stuff you shot.
Rabbits and
At
buffalo.
squirrels, buffaloes. I mean, you pretty much decimated the population of the west of squirrels, rabbits, and buffalo. But that was the only thing that was fun about it. It'd only take 100 pounds of meat or whatever, right? Like back in the cart or in the wagon, you could only put 100 pounds of. You couldn't take anything else. Like you couldn't take all of it that you shot. Do you remember?
You couldn't?
So it just wasted.
To do your part as like a colonizer.
Yeah, just
Just take, it's like massacring buffalo and everything. Bison, whatever you want to call them.
Yep. But that was the only fun thing in the game. So
Yeah, I used to have to take, you remember that class, keyboard?
mm.
You had to learn to type, like KJ, KJ, KJ,
Yeah,
KJ,
we had
KJ.
a typing class.
We had a fucking
We didn't even have
keyboard or something. And then the Apple, before
Uh-huh.
Apple was cool, like it is now, it was like total shit at the point. You remember that?
The Macintosh.
This plastic cover you pull off of it, yeah.
Wasn't it square?
Yeah, real tall.
Yeah, like this tall, and the screen was like this big.
You go up there and type the same letters over and over, and then yeah, there was always you always knew in the background that there's a fucking game on here called Oregon Trail that you can only play on like President's Day or like Good Friday or whatever. You couldn't. I don't understand why they put that out there because it's like, you know, all I want to do when I'm at school is not be at school.
Right.
So like, hey, here's a computer. Type KJ over and over, but don't play those amazing games in the background.
You know, nowadays, like my daughter's school, they play games on they have computers that they,
Like Call of Duty?
like tablet games. Yeah. Wolfenstein. No, they play.
My nightmare mode, Dad.
They're like math games and stuff like that. So you know that she's experiencing the same thing, right? She's like, God, these games are terrible. You know, compared to the games on the, you know, like whatever the game is that they have, you know, that she plays on her iPad.
We had drafting computers in my drafting class in high school. Dude, it's still this day. Drafting? That was fun, man. I love that class. You had to draw shit, like stupid stuff, like blocks and crap with holes in them. But anyway, we had a bunch of computers over on the side because it was in the tech ed room, which I liked tech ed too.
I don't know what tech ed was.
That's really like
shop.
Learn how to lay bricks, and there was always like these modules set up that were so torn up.
Really?
Past classes that you could never do it. You know, like
it taught you that how to like lay bricks and
weld and body.
That was shop, auto shop we had, or metal shop.
Well, I made a little man golfing out of hangers and nuts.
Hangers and nuts. Nut hangers.
And then I took a den out of a carpenter, learned how to lay bricks, did some electrical work.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was a fun class. I preferred that. I mean, it was cool, but the whole thing was like there was a whole fucking wall of computers, you know, because that's like computer programming and crap, you know, like back then. Do you remember IT people back then?
I took computer programming in high school.
So you know how to like access the matrix?
You had to program by block, so you would type like 10, and then you would type a line of code like run blah 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 20, and then yeah, and you'd have to type in. It was ridiculous, dude. You'd have to type in like 50 lines of something just to make it turn the screen blue, then orange, then green, and then you don't even get the Starman yet. The Starman would be like, that's like 500 lines of code.
Can you imagine that if you were to do that, like show some kid a computer today, you're like, what? This is like, remember those Tecmo Bowl LCD football games and like Double Dragon that had like a LCD readout, and it was arm was missing, and if you hit the button, it'd be like and shit was like.
I remember the ones before that. They were it was a little white football game like this big, and it was red. It was just a red light in there, and you had to like. You'd push one button to go one way and one button to go the other way, and it'd be like, well, the red light would be on this side of the screen, and then the whatever was running behind it made it look like it was running, but it'd be like this. Then you'd do this, touchdown. It'd sound like the speak and spell, whatever that is, spell and speak.
Double dribble, Bayou Billy. Bayou Billy. Dude, I forgot what we were talking, how we got on. Oh, in school or whatever. But yeah, dude, those computer games. There were some cool ones when I was in middle school. There was, I don't know what computers they were. They're about as big as that TV, you know. But they had a game on there where you got to operate on someone. Yeah.
What?
And, yeah, you cut them open, like brain surgery, pull their head open and stuff, and then it was like medical. It wasn't like.
But it was a game.
It's still bloody and stuff. Yeah. And like I could never get past. I'd set up everything and then just cut their head and then peel back their scalp and then they'd die every time. And then there was another game on there that was like an animation thing. So we were supposed to make a cartoon for hey, make a, these two guys. It was like, and you could stop motion them however you wanted. So, of course, I'm in 8th grade, man.
Uh-huh.
Like, after I made my homework or my assignment for that, I like totally just made the guys like throwing up on each other and pissing on each other and like punching each other in the face. I could not be a teacher because if I saw that, I'd be like, what? That's funny. Yeah. Don't turn that in, but that's a good one. Is that poop? Oh, funny, man. All right.
Oh.
Well, think about that, because you got in trouble for like not being mature or whatever.
Well, I got in trouble.
Yeah, like
I gotta
be more mature.
I probably told this story on here.
Oh,
yeah.
Which one?
Pancakes, chocolate chip pancakes.
I don't remember.
Well, so we were required in 8th grade to take home ec, and so obviously you had class with like, they did it like this. They had 16 students in the class.
Mm-hmm.
So there would be 2 groups of boys and 2 groups of girls, right, in this home ec class. So you had to learn how to sew, right? I had to learn how to sew on a sewing machine. Like, that doesn't... Like, I understand to sew with a needle and thread. Like, okay, but learning to sew on a sewing machine, like, I don't know, it was a waste, I thought. But...
Oh, that's what I learned in school.
Sure. But we also had to learn how to cook. And so, which was cool because you had, the school had like 4 kitchens right up in this, like separate kitchens.
Yeah.
And so, got the bright idea, which I got this idea actually from my mom, which is bad, right? Like my mom said something about some kids in her school when she was a kid serving the teachers X-Lax. So we made chocolate chip pancakes out of the chocolate chips were actually chocolate X-Lax. Dude, it's bad.
You got in trouble?
Yeah, you got suspended.
Really?
Yeah. And the guy, what happened was Mr. Schroeder was in the teacher's lounge, and so were all the other teachers, right?
Shitting his brains out.
Well, no, we brought all the pancakes into all the teachers. Well, the other teachers didn't want any pancakes. Mr. Schroeder ate them all.
That's what so, start being a fucking gluttonous ass.
Uh-huh. So he ate them all. He called me at my house later that day while he was shitting. He said, "Why are you the devil?"
Can you imagine? If some kid did that to me, I'd be like, you little shit. Like,
he was my football coach next year.
I'm going to get you back. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
That's what I mean. I couldn't be a teacher because I'd be like,
yeah.
Hey, look,
yeah.
You made me crap for 6 hours, but, I had a dog piss on your backpack or whatever.
Well, they brought us into the office the next day and they say, you could have killed him.
I've heard that about
X-Lax? Yeah.
People saying that. Is that true? Like, how are you going to fucking
I guess dehydration?
Shit? Yeah, but you could do that from drinking too much. Booze, right?
I guess so. Yeah. Rough.
Ridiculous.
I'm sure we set the bar high, though, for the rest of the students to come through.
I just always remember that shit. All the stuff in like grade school, middle school about you need to be more mature. Like we're just outside talking about which Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, well, he wanted us to be mature.
I'm not gonna make adult decisions in here. You know what I mean?
And then the shit. So yeah, that's another thing. Like they try to they tell you that you need to be mature, but then they use fucking fear tactics to keep you in line whenever.
Well, like I remember when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd say like, you guys, you're high school students, you're about to graduate, you're gonna go off to college or do whatever you're gonna do. You're adults, and then they'd send these letters home and like, our children need that, you gotta get this and get this approved and that. And I know it's all lawyer stuff, but at the same time, like, tell us to be adults. And then just like when I made the deal on that calculator that got jacked up in my class, got a replacement. It was a different color, and I made some trades,
Mm-hmm.
took care of the problem, and they called my parents like, can't we just deal as men to men here?
Yeah.
There was something happened. I took care of the problem. But deal with me. Don't need to bring my parents into it. But, I don't know. The Oregon Trail was.
Do you remember that game called Logos? On Commodore 64?
Logos?
Logos? I don't know. Oh, you were a turtle. Like a triangle turtle. The Illuminati turtle.
Did you... What?
I don't know. Hold on.
Did you ever play that game? I don't even know what it was called. Not Famicom. It was like this little... it was like a little arcade setup. It had little controller sticks on it. And you were... It's what made me think of earlier. You're a little Starman.
Uh-huh.
With... like a rope that when you walked, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Dude, that game was impossible. All those games were fucking impossible back then.
There you
There's
go.
no way to beat them.
It was called Logo Turtle.
Bring it up on the screen.
I gotta find the right one. And what you would do is you would make him
walk
do
around on
stuff.
screen, like eat.
What? It happened. Oh. Delete that. Hold on here.
Was that pornography?
No, I'm trying to. There we
I
go.
don't think I ever pranked any teachers. Ever.
Commodore 64 logo. Turtle graphics for the C64. The turtle light the logo Olympics. Torch, for example. Step 5.
What the fuck's the turtle? Is that a TV over there?
The turtle is just this. Here's another. This is a better example. I remember this right here.
Did you? My brother had a Commodore 64.
There he is. Oh, lonely turtle, die. Why do you sit on my screen? Someday you will die. Oh.
So my brother had a Commodore, and it had those games that said, like you're in a room, there's a window on the right and a door in front.
Uh-huh.
What do you want to do? Like walk forward and then say,
Oh, yeah.
and then like there's a door on the right, door on the left.
Yeah. To choose your own adventure.
Yeah, basically, but it was this lame as shit.
Yeah.
We had like 3 games. We had one game where you brushed teeth, like, fought cavities. Then we had that game,
Uh-huh.
Castle Dracula or some shit. And then I think it was this, maybe something else. We had Atari, we had all that crap. But when I first,
You gotta think like you think about like the potential like in your head when you're a kid, like, man,
yeah.
this is amazing. You're blown away by it, and then you just think if you're like if my daughter went back in time, she'd be like,
yeah, I want to.
This shit sucks.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't touch a screen.
Well, it's like it makes me like, yeah, it's I don't even know how to explain it. It's you're basically spoiled from what you've been accustomed to, right?
Yeah.
Because at the time that game where it was like you walk through this door, there's stairs to the right. Like I was actually like, ooh, this is spooky. You know what I mean? But think about how lame that is. You're sitting there looking at it. It was a TV. It was tied into a gigantic keyboard that was like this thick.
Yeah.
A block of ham with buttons on it. And like go forward. Like there's a goblin in the room. Like, oh shit, a goblin! Like use mallet. Too late. You're dead. Like fuck. This is scary shit we're playing. And now you can't even differentiate between reality and fucking video games.
And you think like back then, like parents would be like, "That's probably
It's a little too much."
Yeah, that's too much. It might be devilish.
With goblins, though, Satan.
Yeah, is this Dungeons and Dragons?
What was the?
Are you guys on acid?
Yeah. What was the fascination with devil worship in the '80s? Because like I said, '80s and '90s. Because like I said, I was watching those rewatching those unsolved mysteries. Like there's so much stuff in there. Like there was times that this was thought was possibly a devil worship, satanic cult, or devil worshiping site. Like
they sacrifice cats and dogs.
Think about that now. As open as everything is,
Uh-huh.
you know, people are like, "Oh, I'm a man and a hamster," depending on what day of the week it is. Like I don't know any open devil worshippers. Like I don't.
Yeah, like
you know anyone that like openly worships the devil
and then sacrifices cats and dogs.
Even if they're just like devil light, you know, they don't do any sacrifices.
Well, we know a couple. We don't know person. I mean, we've had them on the podcast.
Devil worshippers.
Well, we had Homeboy.
I don't know. He's just a fucking. He is. You think he worships
Lucian Greaves?
I think he's just trying to make a point.
Okay, well, he says he worships the devil.
So one person.
Yeah.
So we know one person by proxy. Is that correct?
No, because we actually know him.
So we know one person that worships the devil. Yet in the 90s, there's like this mass.
80s
and 90s.
70s, 80s, and 90s.
Like this mass scare of all these devil worshippers around. See,
you know,
part of the fucking what's wrong or what sucks about the internet, and we see this past is like you can't fucking start rumors like that. Like
yeah, like that.
Ice cream trucks,
serving acid.
Kids. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
It's fake.
Yeah.
Internet is fake.
Mm-hmm.
That never happened. So I was seriously,
I was terrified of Satan worshippers too.
And I was terrified of Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, that was a gateway to the devil. Like your soul would become his.
I can't imagine playing a board game. Well, here's the thing too, like all that shit, like on the 700 Club and stuff, about like don't listen to this music.
Yeah.
White Snake.
No Led Zeppelin.
White Snake.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you go back and look at that stuff now. This is a love ballad.
Yeah.
Like we're not talking about worshiping the devil.
They're like Whitesnake, but Slayer was out like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this love that I'm feeling? Is this the love that I've been searching for? And then
Slayer's.
I don't know, man. That's funny.
And then even Slayer's not satanic.
No, I think they're doing the same thing.
Gimmick.
Yeah. Like Tom Arroyo. Arroyo. You think he's at his house like, all right, kids.
Praising the devil.
Yeah, get those cats out. Let's fucking.
We got some sacrificing to do.
I wonder what's our witch hunt now? Is it just terrorists?
Well, I think the big witch hunt is, there might be something to it, is the Illuminati, right?
The Illuminati Satan worshippers? Yeah, but the majority of people don't even know who the Illuminati is.
Well, I think they do now. It's like popular to talk about.
I think it's like they know the term, but they don't know
what it actually is.
Yeah.
Well. Tom Joad, one of our listeners, says that Alice Cooper was satanic.
Because he ate doves. No,
that was Ozzy Osbourne. Alice Cooper was actually the son of a preacher, and now he is a preacher. Do you know that?
What? Okay, this is going to make me sound bad, but is Iggy Pop a fucking...
He's a punk rocker.
Is he?
Was a punk rocker. Heroin punk rocker.
I don't think I've ever heard an Iggy Pop song.
Yeah, you have. It's just, what's it called? Oh my gosh, it's called Young. You've heard it. It's pretty popular. It's called Lust for Life. Yeah, you've heard it. Here, heard this song on commercials. I don't know how to stop it.
This is like half-price doctor's music.
Yeah, I think he was gay. I'm not for sure. Yeah, this half-price doctor's music. Like, hey, Old Navy.
It.
Lustful Life, that's what's called.
You're talking about getting old. I saw Pantera on like the Carl's Jr. commercial on the...
what?
Yeah, on YouTube.
What song were they playing?
It was like 5 Minutes Alone or something like that.
What?
Yeah, I swear to God, because I seriously was like,
Hold on.
is that just Pantera playing on a commercial?
Pantera. What is it, Carl's Jr.?
It was some commercial. I bet if you just...
Oh, yeah, Carl's Jr. Pantera commercial.
Is it Carl's Jr.? Yeah, play it. Bring it up on the screen here, because it really hurt my feelings.
All the flavors of a great steakhouse. Now on a burger. Introducing
I'm broken.
Uh-huh.
only at Hardee's and Carl's Jr.
That's crazy.
Well, think about that. Like, they had Ozzy Osbourne on, like, a Honda Odyssey, you know, like a minivan.
Yeah, but, like, that's... Ozzy's weak compared to Pantera, like, at the time. Now, though, Pantera's probably weak compared to whatever's out there now. You know what I mean? Like, it's... Did you ever see the video, their video for Vulgar, like, the not the video, but the VCR tape of, like, Vulgar Display of Power tour?
The Vulgar videos?
Yeah.
I have all of them.
Dude, this is so badass.
Yeah.
They were so rude, though.
So we played those when I was in the military.
Uh-huh.
The best one was 3. The third one.
Which one is that? Is that...
was Pantera 3. But it was, we watched those in the barracks, and then everyone wanted to start drinking.
Uh-huh.
Like, it was like a party starter. Like, dude, let's fucking destroy something. Start drinking. You know,
Yeah.
'cause dude, those videos are hilarious. That
Mhm.
there's so much funny shit on there. That dude dressed up like the Hulk.
I don't remember. I remember where they were eating cake.
Yeah, big bow.
Uh-huh. And then I remember them yelling at some Christians,
I remember that.
acting like they were possessed.
I like the when they go to the Minnie Paul's strip club. And it's got that fucking like 90s dude with that doctor outfit on, those big black
God,
glasses.
dude,
and he's
I don't
like,
remember.
oh yeah! Welcome to the clubhouse. It's good, man. And there's chicks bathing in body paint and all kinds of stuff.
That's always good.
Yeah, that's a good video. I want to watch those. Those are on YouTube.
Are they?
Someone uploaded them. Yeah, they're good, man. So tonight's show, we don't have. We do have a small set list. I haven't read any of them. Mike sent them this afternoon.
They're just conversation starters.
Stuffed up nose. So we're gonna wing it, basically, kind of like we did that entire intro. But there's one thing. I guess play the commercial. We'll go to the hot zone.
Okay.
I want to talk about something real quick. Have you downloaded the new operating system on
No.
iPhone?
Mm-mm.
Fucks your phone up.
Really?
Yeah. Like, you can, like, talking about 1990s computers, you like, hey, I want to watch YouTube. Hit it, and just set it down and let it catch up to you.
Really? It's that bad, huh?
Yeah.
So wait until they fix it and then download it
I guess.
so that I don't have to go through it.
Yeah. No, so, what I was going to talk about, I was watching, I think, we were talking about this at the gym today. Like, so the news, right? So local news reports on shit that's happening in your neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I remember in, I guess it was in college, a lot of people were saying, like, you need to listen, you need to know what's going on, you need to be involved in your community and know what's the stuff that's happening. Like, you know what proposals are on the ballot, this whatever. Like, no, I don't have a clue.
Mm-hmm.
There's two parts of that. It's like, so now, to be an informed voter, we're gonna go and look at what's on the ballot. Well, this last time, I wasn't gonna vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ended up going. And my neighbor had brought me a readout of all these questions. So I read them all, and I was like, I'm reading these, I don't know which way to fucking vote, the way they're worded. So fucked up.
Yeah.
But that's not really where I was going with this. But anyway, and and the other thing was like, well, you know what's going on in your community and everything. Like, would you watch the news? Do you read the news? Or how do you get your news sources? At the time I was maybe on MySpace, probably not.
Right.
Like, I didn't watch the news at night.
Yeah.
I didn't have cable. Well, no, I did have cable, but I didn't watch the news at night. So, I can't remember what class it was. The teacher's like, you really need to know what's going on. And, like, a couple of days ago, I was thinking about that. I'm like, why? Why do I need to know the news being that way? Because the news is entertainment, right?
Right. And it's shaped for it's contoured for your pleasure.
Well, and they're telling you stuff that, I guess, this college professor that was important. So, like, I was just thinking a couple days ago, like, why is it important to me to know that someone got shot and killed on the complete opposite side of town?
Mm-hmm.
What does that have to do with me? What does it have to do with me that there was a fuel truck spill down the road from my house, like 2 miles?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess, it's kind of cool to know, like, why is the road closed? Oh, there's a fuel truck spilled over right now. But it doesn't affect me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you shouldn't know what's going on in your community. I think that you should know what's going on in your community based on, and that's what a lot of these bloggers talk about, like your community, stuff that you can influence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that you interact with. But, like, the news is, like I was just saying, like, it's an entertainment. Like today they're talking about, oh, here's a new pumpkin spice recipe for pumpkin spice soup. Like, what the fuck are we?
Right.
And all the news is, so say they report on a shooting. They listen to a police scanner, go up there. Police are saying that someone got shot here, and the suspect is on the loose. Wow, I'm more enlightened now that I watch this. You know what I mean?
And I think generally the news is mostly set to, it's all about getting it's not about informing you. It's all about sucking you in and selling their advertisement, keeping you on their channel. So that's why the big news here is always the weather, right?
Yeah.
The drop of a hat, if the fucking leaf falls out of a tree, they're like, ho, 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 ho. On Admiral and Pine. Wait, can you do that? No. You could do Pine and
they're doing
Peoria
now too. Notice that all the weather is being presented by
large women.
Right?
They're taking a good. That's a good page out of the Mexican Telemundo, right? Like, I mean, they're doing the right thing there.
The high here is going to be 58, and the low over here is going to be 42. But I mean, I don't want to sound like I don't care what's going on around me or not pay attention to what's going on around me. But there's no point in me listening to stuff that I can't influence on. Like, hey, a plane crashed and crash landed on the golf course today.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's fine. Good to know.
Harrison Ford got out.
Why does that matter to me?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of paying attention to what you can influence.
Yeah, like, if you're in your neighborhood and like, hey, there's a string of robberies in this neighborhood. Oh, okay, fuck, better watch out.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna know that because of your neighbors, right? If you're interacting and networking with your neighbors and surrounding people, then you're gonna know something's going on. It's not like Channel 6 is gonna show up and be like, hey, some robberies around here, better watch your ass.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. And then national news is just as much worse it's 10 times worse than, like, Hank the dog.
Yeah.
Coming up after this break, he's back for more. He caught a squirrel during Groundhog Day and changed the weather. Let's see it. Like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yes. All right, so for the news.
Yeah.
This comes to you. This comes to you straight from McClatchy DC Bureau. I don't even know what this is exactly, but it says China speeds ahead of U.S. as quantum race escalates, worrying scientists. So what I did, or what I was reading here, is it's basically, you know how we had an arms race like with the Soviets.
Yeah.
Basically, we're having a digital a race to information race. You know what I mean? I get a data race, basically. Whoever can quantum compute the fastest will control the world.
Yeah, we talk about the AI race too.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is all part of it, right? Remember what we were talking about, that deep wave? How deep wave, they're talking about the quantum computing being able to reach into different dimensions to solve our issues.
Uh-huh.
Right? Well, that's what they're after here. And so, this says, U.S. and Western scientists voice awe and even alarm at China's quickening advances in spending on quantum communications and computing, revolutionary technologies that could give a huge military and commercial advantage to the nation that conquers them. So, first paragraph, though, is set to make you terrified that China's going to beat us, and we need to start spending more tax dollars on quantum computing. All right, the concerns echo. Although a lesser degree, the shock in the West 6 decades ago, when the Soviets launched Sputnik satellites, sparking a space race. In quick succession, China in recent months has utilized a quantum satellite to transmit ultra-secure data, inaugurated a 1,243-mile quantum link between Shanghai and Beijing, and announced a $10 billion quantum computing center. So basically, the Chinese are going to be able to solve the world's problems by introducing an artificial intelligence.
Yeah, to kill us all.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
That's what this is. We're back. It always puzzles me. Like this pure quantum computers remain largely theoretical, although simple prototypes exist. Many designs call for them to operate in super cold conditions. Notice how this is always the tagline whenever we talk about these bordering on absolute zero, or around minus 458 degrees Fahrenheit, colder than outer space. You know how that tagline it's always like, it's colder than outer space, colder than outer
zero
space.
Fahrenheit's 400 and something below.
No, it's bordering on absolute zero, or around minus 458 degrees Fahrenheit.
Absolute zero's 458 below zero?
I guess so.
Fahrenheit?
Uh-huh.
What? Okay.
Without any noise or micro movements that could cause malfunction. What has made them the holy grail for nations and private industry is that quantum computers, in theory, are magnitudes better at sifting huge amounts of data than the binary processors that power mainframes, desktops, and even smartphones today. They also can process algorithms that break all widely used encryption. All right, I'm gonna break off from this real quick because I wanted to talk about something I saw today. There's a guy. I was in the break room putting my lunch in the microwave, and on the TVs there, they always have the TV, the financial network in there, right, in the kitchen. And this guy named Alouette, or I don't know, somebody was saying that Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin is set to implode. That I do have a theory, and this is a tinfoil hat theory, but I was thinking about this. So, all right, who are the people? I'm gonna ask you some questions, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to figure out how Bitcoin can shape the global economy. All right, and here's how we're gonna do it. Not only shape the global economy, but also can bring on the apocalypse. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so according to Western religion, how does Armageddon happen? Like what happens in that globally? You have to have a global government, right?
Global government,
And
global leader.
And an acceptance of a currency, right? A global currency. All right. So here's the deal. This is what we're going to do. And a lot of people probably have already made this case, but here I'm going to add one to it. Who are the type of people that bought into Bitcoin?
Nerds.
Right, nerds, but also anarchists, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of anarchists. And a lot of anarchists, if we go back and look at over the last couple of years, what type of people are anarchists that voice themselves very opinionated? They don't want government, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, but they also associate religion with that same thing, right? They say, look, religion is just as bad as government, right?
Yeah.
But they definitely don't. I don't believe most delineate between religion and faith, right? So meaning that faith is different than religion in the fact that what is religion? Religion has been traditionally utilized to do what? To move man in the way that another man wants them, right? They've been manipulated through religion, through traditions and culture, right? We'll just say it through, just for the sake of the argument, through the past, right?
Yeah.
But faith is a different story, right? Faith is an individual basis, okay? Does that make sense? Like, your faith in whatever you believe God to be, or the Creator to look like, is your faith in that, right? If you believe that there is a Creator, right? Because you have no proof of what He looks like or what He is. It's your faith, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so faith gets lumped in with religion a lot of times by people that are not faithful or that don't believe in God in any matter, or the fact that they don't respect the individuality of their spirituality, right? Am I losing you?
Kind of.
Okay, so a lot of times people will say, oh, well, religious people and non-religious people that feel like that they know what's best for you, right? They'll try to say, oh, well, that's not you believe wrong, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that's not how it works. That's not how God is. And you're like, well, wait a minute. This is my interpretation of the God that I believe in. It's not your interpretation. I'm not trying to tell you how your God is, right? What I'm trying to get to is that so a lot of these people that have made millions of dollars now, mind you, you know what the price of Bitcoin is going for today?
It's like 500% up higher, right?
$6,000 per Bitcoin. So when those people bought in way back whenever it was like $10, and they bought thousands of them, these people are now multi-millionaires, right? So they're gaining power with their currency, right? And they will also gain more and more power in the market with that currency as it becomes more accepted, right? It's very volatile, but it's been on a constant climb. Still volatile, but been on a constant climb. So I'm loosely linking that the idea of eliminating all states and eliminating all of these religions can be done by a globally accepted currency. So, and how do we do that, right? Well, if the people that control Bitcoin currency, the majority of it, right, don't believe in religion, right, have said, look, religion has been the cause of all wars throughout mankind, right? That's what, what do we do to stop war? Well, if religion has been the cause of it, what do? They say, look, you can enter into the Bitcoin market, but you have to do one thing. You have to verify and disavow all of your religious beliefs, right? And then that's the sign, right? That's one of the signs, right? Like, you have to deny Christ, right?
Yeah.
And then
You did the Bitcoin?
well, then you get the mark of the beast, whichever. No, I'm saying like in the future, it may not be Bitcoin the one, but the digital currency, the cryptocurrency.
I think I want to buy this on Amazon. I accept the Bitcoin. Fuck. Denounce my religion to buy this.
Just to enter the market.
Smash shovel.
And then what happens over time is like if you don't, you'll just be alienated from the market, right? You won't be able to purchase anything. You won't be able to work. You won't be able to do any of this stuff. And you're done. That's Western, right? The Western idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's possible. That's how that if you can corner that part,
What
the
were
currency.
Bitcoin? $10.
They were even way cheaper than that. Like 25 cents for 100 of them.
Like when was that though?
6 years ago, maybe.
I still don't get it.
I don't want to go into it.
Well, I know, but I mean, it's just like I said when I get some money transferred to my PayPal and I transferred it to my bank account.
Mhm.
There's no good. There's no
Value.
number.
Yeah.
Like, why couldn't it just say, hey, like here's 100,000 of this?
Yeah. Give me more zeros.
Yeah. Like, is there like a running tally somewhere?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
There is a running tally of how many bitcoins are out there.
No, I mean of my numbers.
Oh, how many
You know what I mean?
how many numbers you have?
Like so that money came from here to PayPal to me.
A record?
But no, I mean I know there's a record.
Oh.
It's hard for me to believe like here's the pot of gold. Here's it dispersed.
There's no gold.
Well, I know.
Oh.
I mean, here's the pot of paper dollars.
Uh-huh.
Here's the disbursement,
Uh-huh.
and it's just moving around, right?
Yeah.
But it's
Just-
fake.
But it's just all it is yeah, but it's the only thing that's backing those numbers that you see when you move them around is the paper that it's printed on, right? That's the only
But
thing.
I got, so say, I got $100,
Uh-huh.
and then I transfer that over into my account, and I've got $100 more in my bank account, but it's still just on the computer.
Oh. Yeah, so I mean I would venture to guess that there has to be record of that transaction, right? Say you however it works, right? Like you're talking about the digital numbers from banking transaction to banking transaction. Yeah, there's record from that, and they got to keep track of all that, and then they got to reconcile it at the end of the day, right, or at the end of the month, or however they reconcile it per bank, or per Visa, or per whatever, right? However it's done,
Yeah.
and then they say, okay, it all ties back. Oh, the Treasury, the U.S. Treasury, the Fed, the Federal Reserve says we got to pull some of those paper notes back in and burn them. Whatever, we got to retire them because the economy's getting too saturated. Value of the dollar is tanking. So we need to pull some back in, right? So then your numbers, however many numbers you got in the bank.
This seems like
It's a big shell game, dude.
Yeah.
It is.
But I mean, I'm saying with the fucking Bitcoin.
But Bitcoin, at least they're not saying, oh, okay, we can introduce more Bitcoins or we can burn some Bitcoins to make it more. All they're saying is there's going to be this many, no more. This is as much as we're going to make.
But it's still just enough. I mean, I know it's just as pointless as the paper that you
Right.
print on, but it's like.
Well,
It's just like diamonds or jewel, like that's it. The scarcity, I guess, is what makes it so.
Yeah.
But it's like.
Well, so the whole thing is the idea of the Bitcoin itself is to do what? Is to subvert all of those global or all of those national economies, right?
Yeah.
That's the idea behind it, anyways, is to take power away from the dollar. If you look at it at face value, take power away from all the ruble and all the pound and the euro, and so that it's going to say, okay, this is something that people will buy into, believe in, and I don't know, it's not debt based. It's based off of computing power, right? Like an effort, whatever the effort is. The effort is the digital computing power.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, okay. What one's next? Oh, that's true though. So China will be able to corner the Bitcoin market with their quantum entangled particles.
I got an article up here that says family of Las Vegas victims want answers. A lawyer says as authorities remain tight-lipped. This is from FoxNews.com.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Las Vegas thing right now is like still
Gone?
Yeah, it's like
Huge cover-up?
completely out of the news. Nothing's reported, right? I guess this is one of those things like, well, it's not your. It's not like it affects you, or you can affect it, but
Yeah, but
so yeah, you don't even hear anything about it.
that's what's so intriguing about it is that
The guy, the hero at the security guard did an interview on Ellen, and
really.
yeah, have you watched it? It's odd.
Well, you're right. So just think about what they do whenever there's a fucking rainstorm here, right? And if there's a possibility of a rainstorm coming, right? The news is out of control. Now, the largest mass shooting in all of in the U.S. history. It's
Well, I was reading
fucking
something.
1 week, 2 weeks afterwards, you're like,
I was reading something the
never
other
even
day.
heard anything about it.
Reading something the other day,
Mhm.
and
Now it's Harvey Weinstein or whatever.
it was talking about how the courts are setting stuff up for a trial. Like a trial? Like I didn't think there was a.
Trial of who?
Yeah, exactly right. The guy's dead. Who are they gonna? Who's getting tried?
Really?
Yeah, they're being NGM's been directed not to destroy evidence or do anything, change stuff because for trial or whatever. Like, who are you gonna take to trial? NGM? Like,
I guess.
I don't know. It's weird. There's still. I don't want to go back over it like we talked in the past. There's a lot of weird stuff that happened there.
Mhm.
I don't totally get it. And it is strange. It's completely out of the system, the news now. Like you don't hear anything about it.
Yeah.
It's done. Oh, yeah, well, it's over. Don't know why this guy did it. Next.
Yeah.
Hey, we're about to go to war with North Korea.
Back.
Yeah,
Hey, we're back with North Korea again.
Sexual harassment.
Mhm.
Russia's no longer a threat.
Well, this next story says that you're terminated. Vladimir Putin warns of future sci-fi superhuman soldiers more destructive than nuclear bombs who feel no fear or pain. So, Russian president spoke. Is he still a Russian president? Yeah, he is. So this was on October 23rd, 2017. He spoke to youngsters at a festival at Sochi about the prospect of mass killing supermen who are incapable of feeling pain or compassion. So Vladimir Putin has claimed genetically modified super soldiers worse than a nuclear bomb could become a reality. The strongman Russian president spoke to a crowd of students about the prospect of an army of trained killers incapable of feeling pain or fear, much like the characters in 1992 action movie Universal Soldier. Did you like that movie?
No.
You didn't like Universal Soldier? I didn't like Universal Soldier 2, but I thought Universal Soldier was alright when I saw it. It's not one of Jean-Claude's best work.
It's got Dolph.
Yeah, it's got
Lundgren
Dolph
in it,
in it.
too.
He revealed that scientists are close to breaking the genetic code which would enable them to create a human with pre-designed characteristics. Speaking at Youth Festival in Sochi, Putin warned of the consequences of playing God with man's genetic code. He said, "A man has opportunity to get into the genetic code created by either nature or, as religious people would say, by the God. All kinds of practical consequences may follow. One may imagine that a man can create a man, not only theoretically, but also practically."
if anybody's going to make universal soldiers, it's going to be Russia.
Yeah, I wonder if he's in the market. I'm sure, right? Just like we are.
What do you mean?
We're all trying to make those
Oh, yeah.
droids.
Totally. So the article I pulled up here, FoxNews.com, says North Korea threats at unprecedented level, a Japanese official says. So Japan, South Korea, everyone's saying that North Korea is, they're talking about threatening nuclear war. I've seen a bunch of ads, or not ads, a bunch of stories about how the Air Force has put like the B-52s on 24-hour alert.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I figured they would always be on alert.
Yeah. Well, at least one squadron of them, or whatever. However they measure.
Cool fucking jet, man. I've always thought those were awesome looking. I didn't know those things flew supersonic too.
Big. To be
That's
flying
like
supersonic, yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen on this. I mean, I feel bad because there's a lot of people out there eating their shoes and shit. And if this guy decides like he's gonna get a little action, not only will respond and smoke a bunch of people over there, and who knows what happens after that.
Right.
I think it's all just posturing, or I don't know.
It might be all media cycle too,
Yeah.
like just to
Direction, like, hey, focus your attention over here.
we need to bring up some of the hits. Let's roll ISIS out again.
Yeah, I don't know. It's ISIS is pretty much, that's another thing. ISIS is pretty much gone.
Yeah, we'll rebranded. Something will come back, right? All right, this next one comes from IBT, International Business Times. Sex robot inventor says he will soon have children with his creations. So this must be Putin's guy, right? Like he's like... Said the inventor of the world's first sex robot claims he is not far away from being able to have a baby with one of his creations. Sergi Santos also thinks people will be getting married to their automatic lovers within a generation. All right, first, so when I read that first, like you're like, wait a minute, how is he going to make a baby? Right?
He's talking about making them by hand, right?
He's talking about 3D printing them. I don't know if he puts his dick in the 3D printer. So Santos previously revealed that his sex robot, Samantha, who moans and groans when he touches her in the right places. So that's like a video game, right? Like, up ABBA. Had improved his marriage of 16 years to fellow designer Martisa Kisa. Kisa Miyataki, but Kisa Miyataki, I'm just going to say KT, might not be so relaxed about the prospect of her promiscuous scientist breeding with his silicone seductress. Is he really promiscuous? If he's just banging a rubber doll? Like, that would be like saying that, if your wife has a dildo, she's promiscuous.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be promiscuous. Right? Bad choice of words, right? Santos' vision of a sex robot, but I mean, it's still it's very weird to be banging a doll.
Yeah, I think so too.
Alright. Santos' vision of a sex robot baby involves merge the robotic's personality and physical traits with his own attributes in a computer program to create their child's brain and body that can be born in a 3D printer. He said, I can make them have a baby. It's not so difficult. I would love to have a child with a robot. Using the brain I have already created, I would program it with a genome so he or she could have moral values plus concepts of beauty, justice, and values that humans have. To create a child with this robot, it would be extremely simple. I would make an algorithm of what I personally believed about these concepts and then shuffle it with what she thinks and then 3D print it. What she thinks is a robot.
Yeah. I got a Craigslist cruising.
Okay. Hold on, let's finish this.
Yeah.
That's it. I 3D print the robot that is the child of me and the robot. I don't see any complications, he added in the conversation. If Santos is right, it will open up a huge ethical question about the rights of sex robot children. What the fuck? Sex robot children? Wait, they're talking about real children?
I don't know. Like,
The meaning of what it is to be human in the 21st century. The emitter is confident that the shock with which people have greeted the first generation of sex robots will be replaced by an acceptance of their place in civil society. So when does it become acceptable to start banging a robot? Is it whenever they're not like moving like this and they're like fluid and just chilling, like, and then they're like, hey, would you like a glass of iced tea or maybe some wine? And let me rub your feet for you.
I mean, I don't think it's ever going to be like,
And then you're just like, right.
you know, hey, I'm running to Carl's Jr. to get Pantera Burger, but, you know, it'll be, it's not like you want to get busted doing it, you know, like, oh, yeah, I'm just
fucking my robots.
It's going to be a behind the scene thing, I think, no matter what.
Yeah, but like, if it's so soon, whenever, because the time is coming, right? Like, have you seen the pictures of those dolls?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're a little skinny. They got huge boobs. They're a little skinny, like, but when, I don't know what I did. You know, when you can't hardly tell by looking across at it, there's gonna be that time. It's not that far away that it's gonna be like.
It's the steam on Terminator. Like first versions used rubber skin. They were easy to tell. Liquid or living tissue over. Living tissue over robot.
When he's in the sheriff's office.
Yeah. Sweat, blood.
Yeah.
Bad breath, or whatever he says. That's coming.
You know what? I watched that movie the other day. When I was a kid, I used to think,
no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and I used to think Kyle Reese was big, like he was muscular. Dude, that dude is not big.
Yeah,
he's scrawny.
Yeah,
like
that movie is amazing though to me. It's awesome.
You know, guess what Rotten Tomatoes gave it?
What?
100. Means it got 100 out of 100.
Really?
Yes. It's pretty impressive.
Everything about that movie is amazing.
It is good. I watched all of it.
Yeah, if it's on, I can't stop watching.
I say everything about that movie is good except Linda Hamilton's hair.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's horrible, and she
reminds me a lot of one of my friend's moms.
Like she smells like cigarettes, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
I like a roommate.
Yeah, the one that was like the leotard that
banging the dude from Navy SEALs. Yeah, he was in Navy
Seals. Was.
Wow. Yeah, all right, so I got an article here. I got a classified cruising here in a little bit too. So.
Okay.
Teen girl survives Jaws-like shark attack in Australia. For our friends in Australia, this is from Fox News Science. A teenage girl in Australia experienced a scene out of Steven Spielberg's Jaws when a shark threw her off her kayak and came back around to hunt her down. Sarah Williams was paddling off the coast of Normanville when the 15-foot great white shark slammed into her kayak. She was fishing for squid while her brother and father were in a motorized boat watching her from a short distance away. Dude, you're hardcore, right?
Yeah.
Let's say how old this is. Teenage girl. What teenage girl do you know that's a squid fisherman?
None.
Yeah. When I was in the air, it flew me into the air like I was watching a typical Jaws movie. Said her father recalled hearing an awful sound when the shark hit the kayak and saw his daughter get launched out into the water as it circled around for its prey. The scream, you can't describe what the scream was like, the father said while holding back tears. The shark had rolled. I could see the dark side and the white belly, huge fins, white water everywhere. Father and brother powered up the boat and sped to rescue Williams. They spotted the shark circling back and still having a go at her. That's a...
Yeah, that's Australian.
It's gonna still have... I can't do it. Rising lights. Luckily, they got there just in time to pull her to safety.
Damn.
Yeah, dude. Teeth marks were found in the kayak. Williams was hospitalized for minor cuts and bruises. Why would you be hospitalized for that?
Just probably sheer terror.
Her dad told the advertiser he wants the shark killed before it attacks another person. He said he still didn't know how they were able to get his daughter out alive within seconds before the shark took her. If a shark attacks, or if a dog attacks you, you put the dog down. Why do we accept a rogue shark? I'm not saying go out and kill 20 sharks, but if a shark has been involved in an incident, it should be destroyed, Williams said.
Nice, well done.
This shark will kill someone unless we do something about it.
I like it.
Still having a go at her. Still having a go at her. I can't do it. That part.
Say squid fisherman and
Rising lights. Squid fisherman. I can't.
yeah, I mean,
Alright, give me a... Alright, you got any more?
no.
Give me a classified cruising.
All right, I'll give you something.
We're gonna hire this guy. So, this says,
So this old school here,
yeah,
classified
old
cruising.
so,
Toadstool.
Craigslist has got a bunch of crazy shit on it.
Mm-hmm.
This one's titled, Having a Party or Game Day? When a naked male beer and snack server?
What?
It says, I'd love to find a Tulsa area single couple or small discreet group who wanted an older but fairly fit submissive male to be their naked servant at their home for a game day or other small party on a weekend day. You and whatever guests you might have can remain fully clothed if you want. I like the feeling of vulnerability and being on display that being the only one naked gives me. I have only real life limits which can be discussed ahead of time. If you aren't willing to exchange emails for a while to get to know each other and then meet somewhere public for a short chat before wanting to jump straight into play, don't read further. I'm looking for long term. Let's get to know each other and make plans for the long run. I'm looking for a safe and discreet situation where I'd be required to be naked in front of others, or dress me any way you want in revealing kinky, fetish, or slutty clothes. I'm not looking for sex. I like to serve, and I like to be exposed. We can discuss details ahead of time, meet somewhere safe, and see if it might work for you too. Maybe we could live out our own individual fantasies safely and discreetly. I think that'd be funny as shit to, you got a party you're going to, like, hey dude, well, I guess you couldn't fucking sham him into this because he wants to meet first, which would be too weird.
Meet him first, then get him there, and then make him wear all clothes.
Like, look, dude. Well, it'd be funny too. Funny but weird. Like, who's the fucking naked guy here? Like, nah, he's just a servant.
He's just a
Hey
servant.
man, can you clean the floors over here in the fucking...
Ah,
They're filthy. Like, you might get some cheap labor out of this guy, you know? Like, hey man, I'm having a party in my backyard and we're going to build a wooden fence.
we need you to serve.
Yeah, can you come out? Like, I don't want you to serve anything. I want you to nail in pickets.
You can do it nude. I don't care.
What? You serious? Yeah, man. I mean, it's a weird party. We build fences from time to time, but you could be the only one naked. Like some guy out there fucking building a fence with no clothes on. Now, here's the other one, too. So I want to know, at what point in time in your life when you're, posting ads on Craigslist that you don't realize that you're being a complete fucking douchebag, right? You're just a fucking tool. So this guy says, married man looking for married woman. He says he's 5'10", body type's average. He's got a picture posted here. Looks a little rotund. Some pasty hands.
That's average anymore.
No, I'm not saying he's fit compared to, average standards in this picture. Then shows his face. Looks like he needs to get some sun, right? So he says, first off, I'm a real person, born and raised in Tulsa. My favorite place to eat is probably Charleston's on Brookside. Anyway, it says, I'm married but looking for a very casual side relationship, mainly friends, with the occasional stimulating conversation or encounter. Nothing too wild or serious. I can offer a lot in the form of conversation, advice, and attention. Try me out. The type of woman I'm after must be mature in how she carries herself and emotionally. Late 20s to 50s. So far, this is kind of just like you got a bad taste in food and you think you offer a lot conversationally, right? Here's where it goes. Just like
I'm puzzled, man. Like, who the fuck would just, like, people put anything on here?
I'm above average looking and successful.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
expect to find the same in a woman. Don't play around and waste my time. I'll find out eventually who you all really are. Who the fuck says stuff like that?
Some
I'm above average
schmo.
looking and successful. Yet, I'm married and looking for a married woman on Craigslist. Body type is important as well. I'm partial to curvy, but that's very opinionated term, so don't try to push the truth. You should look like you take care of yourself. You must be intelligent. If you can't use proper grammar, I won't be attracted to you, even if you're the MILF of the year. Dude,
guy's an asshole.
yeah, there's another one on there. I can't find it, but it's just like, I was reading it. I want to, like, email the guy, like, look, man, you sound like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You know, like, you need to lighten it up or something. Like, if you're that hard up, like, here, tell me what you want to say. I'll try to, you know, like, you're fucking it up, man.
Yeah, we should
like,
email him.
Like, oh, I've got rock hard abs and
Yeah.
killer personality.
I oil these things up with Kiehl's 2 times a day.
Yeah, like, I'm the catch of the year,
Uh-huh.
but I'm
You
on
should be.
Craigslist trying to fucking reel in women. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
Why?
I don't know.
I think you'd be
Yeah,
alright.
now this isn't real. This guy's titled his "Need Boobs." Good-looking, well-built guy here, totally sane and not a creeper or weirdo. I'm looking for a woman that has an extremely large pair of breasts to just give me a little peek. No sex or touching. Could compensate you for your time. Also looking for a big round ass for the same.
Not real. It's not real.
Fuck it. Get these people in here.
Just a peek.
These are your neighbors, man, right here. I mean, these are the people that you...
These are people that you can
Interact
affect.
Yeah.
Wait, so what? It must be so. If that guy, he can see big round asses on his phone.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not real life. I mean, that's like...
So he wants somebody that's interacting.
I bought a gun. Al said, hey, did you shoot that gun yet? And I said, no. But I watched some YouTube videos of people shooting it, and he's like, is that like watching porn instead of having sex? Got me. Oh. Well, that's all my Craigslist I've got.
Well, it's a good episode.
Yeah. All right, so
If I say so myself.
yeah, really good job. We've got
Well done.
segments, and so we're gonna shut it off now. So, will we be back next week?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll be back next week. We need to get some guests on here. It's been a while since we've had guests.
If you want to be a guest.
We'll be a guest. We have guest ideas. We got a couple of guest ideas. We just need to contact them. People texting us names and
Yeah.
email us some stuff. So
It's true.
once again, email us at spearheadx@yahoo.com with show ideas, questions, concerns, comments, bitching.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure to like and share the Facebook page. Help continue to spread the love of the podcast by telling your friends. And we hope to gain some more listeners. And if you're an old listener, been here from the beginning when it was total or like more shitty than it is now,
Mm-hmm.
we're glad to have you around.
Always.
We hope to keep you. That's all I got.
All right. Adios, muchachos.
Is that on?
I'm about to end it.
Ding the bell. Ding
Dang it.
the bell. Subscribe.
Thank you.